Hello and welcome to podcast 353 of 5-Star Potential, your weekly Football Manager podcast. I'm Doop, and on this week's pod, I am joined by the one, the only, Mr. Dave Azzopardi. How are you, my friend? Are you good? Are you well?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Just the two of us today.
Bash.
Maddie's sunning it up in Greece, I think, because that's what he
Is he?
said. Not the musical, the country. I wouldn't know any jokes about the Greece the musical, to be fair, so we can't roll with that one. But yeah, he's on holiday, so his Wi-Fi is not very good. So it's just us two. So as it's just us two, let's just check up, see how you're getting on. So what you been up to, mate? Busy week? Any winners or losers?
It's been busy. Obviously, sort of gearing up to.
Yeah, I've seen you on the big telly box as well.
Yeah. So obviously gearing up to the end of the season, but yeah, it was a weird one because I've been at work on my own this week, which obviously has given me the chance to get a bit of FM in. But it was so quiet on Wednesday, and then Wednesday night, which I'm sure we'll have a quick chat about, the VAR bomb dropped about Wolves trying to push for it to get scrapped in the Premier League. And then Thursday, I was just inundated with media requests. So I was on BBC 5 Live, BBC World News, Heart Radio, Sky Sports News. It was mad. And I'm on Sky News tomorrow as well. Say again?
Yeah, 50 quid a pot is mad as well, by the way.
I wish.
Lads. Yeah. I'd hate to be Dazzling Dave's agent right now. That's all I'm saying. I've seen him on Nothing, apart from TikTok earlier. Actually, I lie. Okay, cool. So we might as well talk about it, and I'll bring my kind of week into it afterwards. What is your thought? Are you in line with your club, David, or are
sure.
you are?
Yeah. So I am obviously. I think it's a bit different. Obviously, there's going to be people listening to this podcast very quickly and there's no issue with it. They'll watch football from home or go to the pub and watch it or whatever. And I think VAR it's still annoying when you watch it there, but because you've got the benefit of all the replays and you sort of not know what's going on, it's fine. But for me, like as a match going fan, it is just so frustrating. And obviously Wolves, I'm not going to sit here and say that the decisions that against Wolves haven't had an impact on my feelings. Of course I have, because we've been shafted by it a lot this year. But like, I still think it's no good for the game. I think the impact on the game that VAR is bringing is a lot worse than what it was before we had VAR, basically. So if only there was a way where they could get, obviously goal line technology, as long as it's turned on, is absolutely fine. If semi-automated offsides, they need VAR for that, and that's the only annoying thing. If they could have some sort of offside system and goal line technology, mate, I'll be absolutely delighted.
So, Mr. Politician there, Dave, very much so, kind of beat around the bush a little bit and kind of basically called out all the plastics there, basically.
No, not necessarily. I just said, I think a lot of people that are pro VAR are people that don't necessarily go to games.
All I'll say is I don't go as many games as you, but I have the joy of experiencing Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And Old Trafford is one of the only grounds in the league that doesn't have a TV screen. It has a woman on the tannoy that is about 5.5 hours delayed. And it's awful. It takes amazing moments away. Again, another game I went to recently. See, I'm not plastic. The Coventry semi-final.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them scoring in this extra time. You know, how chuffed they were. I mean, where I was sat, it was offside, and I called it offside straight away. And luckily, it was offside. But, that is just brutal. It took, I sent you a TikTok or two laughing because all the Coventry fans are absolutely buzzing. They're doing like a lap of honour, and then it gets pulled back. And it is crap for that. I agree. I think it shouldn't be scrapped, in my personal opinion. So I'm kind of going against what you said, and that isn't just for the podcast. That is kind of the way that I think. I think it shouldn't be gone. I think removing VAR is a step backwards, in my personal opinion. However, it just needs to be done better.
Yeah,
and there is better ways of doing it. There needs to be a new set of guidelines of who, what, and why people look at things. And there needs to be the ability for that referee to look at that pitch side monitor.
It's still too subjective. Like the referees do obviously still look at the monitors and stuff, but I think their side, decide too much. Like there's not enough referees that back themselves at the moment. I think
No.
it's stuff like the delays and things like that. But like I said, I don't think it VAR will be scrapped. Although I'm sort of anti VAR, I don't think it'll be scrapped. But I think what the thing Wolves have done is going to create a serious debate, and it will give the Premier League a massive nudge in regards to giving it a kick up the arse basically to get something
Yeah.
sorted. So there have been some. I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, in Sweden? How they sort of said no,
Mhm.
they rejected the idea of VAR. And I don't know how it's run. I'd be interested to, I don't follow many leagues in too much depth. I don't know how well it's run in other leagues, but whenever we seem to watch it at the World Cup or whatever, it's ran so much better than what we
Well,
see in the Premier League. Yeah.
Champions League seems to be run so much better as well. I just think what we find is the referees at the moment are not making decisions because they kind of know, or they're not. If it's a close call, they're not making a decision because they know that they're backed up with VAR.
Exactly.
And I think when VAR was kind of sold to the fans, it was sold as it's going to stop the clear and obvious mistakes, and it's not stopping the clear and obvious mistakes. There's so much subjectivity into it. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going with it. There's so much of that where we look at things. Look, we can use it as a reference point. Take the Onana incident at the start of the season, first
Yeah.
game of the season, Monday Night Football, under the lights.
Yeah.
Onana's come through and he's punched the ball. He hasn't punched the ball. He's punched one of your players' heads. Now, it is subjective because you can look at it and you go, yeah, okay, it is a foul. However, that player's not going to get the ball, right? Let's just say I'll be
Mm.
honest, I can't remember the incident fully now, Dave. So I don't know whether your
Collides
chap
it,
was going to
Josh.
get the ball,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, let's just say he's not going to get the ball. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We don't need to give a penalty for that. Fine, but different people see it in different ways, and we still having those debates. Whereas I prefer to have a debate of going fucking hell. The ref, you see that the ref missed that yet last night?
Yeah, yeah.
Not VAR looked at it for 4.5 minutes and they still got it
Well,
wrong.
that's why like I very quickly, and we will talk about FM in a minute. I said that before the VAR came in. Obviously, on Match of the Day, you might get it maybe once a week or once every few weeks where they'll say, yeah,
Mm,
the referee probably should have done better there. But now it's
mm,
just like every discussion is based around VAR.
yeah,
It's genuinely like draining. But
it is.
but then the thing is, Onana did the exact same thing maybe like 6 to 8 weeks ago against Burnley, and that got given as a penalty.
Yeah, it did.
The
Yeah,
exact same
it was
thing.
against Burnley. Yeah.
So it's just consistency. I think that's a big thing as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think people want that, and that's what needs to be done. That's why I don't think it will go. I just think it will change,
Mm.
unlike my camera. Um, yeah, I agree. I do think VAR is wank, but I think like you said, I don't think it will disappear. I just think that there will now be a bigger, deeper conversation about it, and I think
Yep.
it's highlighting that. And you'd like to think that we're gonna see something happen from that. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
We're gonna
Hope.
see something happen. So up the Wolve, as I'm very chuffed that they're putting it on the table. I've got a couple of winners, losers, and things I want to talk about this week. One being me. I'm the winner of the week because guess who's got an FA Cup final ticket
Get in. When is that? Next weekend?
next Saturday?
Next
Yeah,
Saturday,
so
yeah.
that is 3 Wembley trips in like 3 weeks. So I'm well chuffed with that.
Gosh.
We were going to go to the playoff final as well, which is the Sunday and stay over, courtesy of our mate that's Ipswich director of football, but they got promoted anyway, so we don't need that. Number two, I want to you're going to hate me for this, Dave. Aston Villa. I want to give them a little shout out for their fans today. I don't know if it got caught much, but I've seen it on Instagram this afternoon or this evening. 4-0 down, 5-0 down, whatever it was to Palace, and they're singing "Is This the Way to Barcelona?" Because obviously they are in the Champions League, and I think it's quality. I think it's great. I think they're. I love the fact that they're in there. I'd rather them be in there than Tottenham be in there. It's just nice to see a new team breaking that top four. So yeah, big shout out to them. I know that's painful for you, Dave. But yeah, awesome for Villa. Obviously painful for my club because we're not there, but
Have
I'll
Man
take.
U got into Europe all conference or Europe all?
No, we're not in anything at the moment. So the only way we can be in the in anything, not Champions League, we could be in the Europa League if we win the FA Cup.
Oh, of course, yeah, yeah,
But
but
we got to win the FA Cup. I
yeah,
mean, that's easier said than done. Let's be honest,
yeah.
because I do think we're going to get battered.
Mm.
We should say congratulations to Manchester City. This is recorded before before the final day of the season, so we can kind of put some predictions here. But congratulations to Manchester City winning. Commiserations to Luton getting relegated. I don't think that's too out there, to be fair, on the predictions. Congratulations to Mateta getting a hat trick today as well, being the highest. Oh, was it the high? Oh, there was a stat that I read. He is something like the highest. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, congratulations to them, and commiserations to Arsenal for bottling it after a deflected free kick. I don't know, just got a feeling, Dave. Just got a
Yeah.
feeling. It was quite funny. There's been
Surely,
some great
I'm just
memes.
looking. Surely, if City don't, wouldn't you get Europe if City win the Champions League as well? The FA Cup. Sorry.
Nah, that's not how it works.
No,
Now,
I'm just looking at it.
I don't think that's how it works. The only way that like
No,
you
because
get
wouldn't it go
this.
down to another place? So 8 teams get Europe. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure we got to win the FA Cup to get Europa
Oh,
League.
that's right.
But anyway, so yeah, I haven't really got any other suggestions apart from it pains me to say as well, Phil Foden, what a player!
Yeah.
Like seriously, what a player! I've mentioned it a couple of times, I've tweeted it a couple of times, and I'm like, the boy's movement is just phenomenal, and hopefully Southgate won't ruin him in the summer.
Did you
Okay.
mention that Man U beat Newcastle? By the way, have I missed that? Or?
No, Mad's not here. It was a good game to be fair. I actually really enjoyed it. More so because we won, but I actually
Beat Man?
quite enjoyed watching two teams both want to win the game. If that makes much
Yeah.
sense whatsoever. You see so many games like today. I mean, we played Brighton. I didn't have it on because it wasn't on UK TV, but I had it on, and we wanted to win it in the last 20 minutes. Apart from that, for the first 60, 70 minutes, nobody wanted to win the game. It was boring. Whereas, the Newcastle game from minute one, both teams went for it and it was
Yeah.
good. Still baffles me that he plays Wan-Bissaka on that left-hand side, by the way. Like, as a football manager, and we'll take it into football manager, right? So Wan-Bissaka, a great tackler. His tackle is fantastic. But he can barely kick the ball with his left foot, with his right foot, let alone his left foot. So it really bothers me that he puts him on the left when Dallo can do well on the right, on the left, and he can cut back and he can cross. And Dallo, it's been painful. I mean, it's been a painful season for us, but I will get to Manchester United in a bit because, yeah, we'll get to that after my save update. Talking of save updates, I mean, unless you got anything else you want to add, Dave,
No, mate.
any predictions in the Liverpool game? Probably. Let me guess. A
Maybe a red
shit
card.
VAR call,
Yeah.
probably.
It was there was one, but we moved. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't want to talk about that either.
Nope. No. No.
Did you go?
No.
Plastic.
Yeah. I
Right.
need to.
Okay. Talk to Dazzling Dave went. I saw
Yeah.
his vlog.
Yeah.
It was on TikTok when I was having a poo just a minute ago
Brilliant.
before we recorded this podcast at 2:15 in the morning. Right, Dave. Your save update. Let's listen because today is going to be save update. I saw it on YouTube. If you didn't know, guys and girls, we are on YouTube. You can go and watch mine and Dave's cameras. I don't know why you'd want to watch our faces.
Mm.
Especially my trim is absolutely dead. I've been out in the sun all day today. I did see a comment on one of the videos, Dave, saying that I could listen to save updates all day. Tom Pierce. I'm not going to do
He
the
loves it,
numbers.
mate. No, he loves it. He's commenting all of them. So
Yeah,
big up Tom
I
Pierce.
love it. So there you go. Big shout out to Tom Pierce. If you're listening, Tom, or watching, hello. I can't wait for you to comment going, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right, save updates. We're going to do a monster one because I've got a monster one too. And a big
Yeah.
save update. Off you go.
Mine's positive, but if I played a bit more FM, could have been even more positive. So I
If you
think
didn't spend so much time on Sky Sports, you'll be all
no,
right.
literally that
Chatting
day
up
at
Emma
work, I
Jones,
didn't
whatever
touch
her name
cable
is.
FM. I can't remember whereabouts it was in the update last week, but kicked obviously still at Palmeiras at the moment. We had the Sao Paulo State Championships, which we spoke about, which I won in very decent style. Had the Copa Libertadores group. I think I was about halfway through that group, actually, if I remember correctly. So we played a team. We had, I think it's Bahia, who are Brazilian. We had Boca Juniors and we had Bolivia. We got through that group. Very decent in the end. I think we won 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Won 4 games. no, would have won. Yeah, won 4 games, drew 1, lost 1. So we got through that group quite nicely. And in the league, I was sort of balancing out the team, like looking at fixtures. Like I think it was, you know what? I put it on socials. Where was this? I had a ridiculous run. This is it. So start of May. So this was when the Sao Paulo Cup final was. I had a game on Sunday, the 4th of May. That was a league game. A final game on the 5th of May, the day after. I then had a Copa Libertadores game on the Wednesday, which was the 7th. And then I had the second leg of the final on the Friday. So in 5 days, I had 4 games. 5 or 6
Wow.
days, I had 4 games. I was like, shit. I won every single one of them. I was like, get in. Like the rotation was mad. So basically, I literally had to pick 2 teams. I had to sort of the league. I think I had like a second string team. The Sao Paulo State had quite a strong team. Thankfully, the Copa Libertadores game was like quite a weak team, so we beat them quite comfortably. So we did quite well in that. Um, but yeah, in the league, we've been fantastic. As of right now, I am. If it wants to load, I am 31 games into the league. 26 wins, 5 draws, 0 losses. Like, unbelievable run of form. I'm on 83 points at the moment. The team in second are on 63. I'm 20 points clear. So, like, but that's with me rotating the team. Like, really, like I said, I think I said last week, I wanted to basically focus on the Copa Libertadores. But I did. We were knocked out in the quarterfinal of the. Not in the quarterfinal. We knocked out in the semi-final of the Brazilian Cup, which I don't mind too much. It gave me a little bit more of a focus on other things. But in the knockouts of the Copa Libertadores, we played Vélez, drew 1-1 in the first leg, scored an 88th minute equaliser. We absolutely battered them, and I thought we need to score a goal away from home. But I was fully confident at home. At home, we'd beat them, so we beat them 3-1 in the end. To go through to the quarterfinals, which we played a team called Gymnasia. Beat them 1-0 away in the first leg, beat them 3-1 in the second leg, which is absolutely fine. And I've just started the semi-finals of the Copa Libertadores, where we played River Plate, and I've just beaten them 4-1 in the first leg. So fully confident that I should beat them in the second leg. The remaining teams left now in the other side of the draw are Sao Paulo and Internacional, who are both Brazilian teams. International are second in the league, but they're, like I said, they're 20 points behind me. And Sao Paulo are like 7th. So in terms of quality across 2 legs, I'm really back our team this year. In terms of strength, we're in a fantastic position right now. Made a couple of transfers in January because there was a couple of decent offers coming in for players, and obviously I mentioned it last week. I think in terms of finances, the club are in a much better financial state because we were like -50, -60 million when I first joined. And I've got them in a positive now, but there were players moaning about game time. There was a guy who was like 30 years old who'd scored loads of goals for me. But I had like a £30 million offer coming from him. I was like, mad, that is like ridiculous money for the club. So I cashed in on him. Sold a couple of players, but then I've brought in some good players, young players that I think, will get much better in the future as well. So just in a very decent position with the squad and everything now. And by the next pod, I am fairly
Don't say
confident.
it. Don't
I'm
say
fairly
it.
confident
Don't
that I
say it.
should be in a nice position. That's all I'll say.
I get that. Yeah, the games are mental, and that is mental. The amount of games you've just
Yeah,
played
like
there
it's
is
mad, like
nuts.
that run of fixtures, but it's nice because part of me, I don't know why I thought the Copa Libertadores final was way earlier than the end of the season, but it's not. It's going to sort of align itself. But I'm
Okay.
hoping. So I'm still unbeaten in the league, and I've got 7 games left. So if I can finish invincible season unbeaten,
Oh,
that'd be amazing. So I don't know if that is that an achievement on FM.
go the
Maybe,
whole season unbeaten.
yeah, might be a little trophy thing. Maybe. I don't
Might be. Yeah.
know.
I mean, you can add it to your penny, I'm sure.
Yeah, but so I'm in a good place right now, but not even looked at other jobs or anything. Like they're just like such a solid team. It's mad though
Yeah.
because I've got a striker called I think he's Warmine Bernardes. He's called, like on paper attributes just unbelievable, and he'd scored. For Palmeiras, he scored 84 goals in 160 games. So like he's on fire. For me this season, he scored 35 goals in 42 starts. But he's on like 300 grand a week, whereas the next biggest earner's on like 150. Like in terms of weight, I didn't sign him. He was already at the club. It's like wow, ridiculous. And he
That's
was one.
massive.
I think he's wanted by Real Madrid at the moment, but there's teams like Dortmund and stuff looking at him. But mate, he's always injured. Like I know he's got all those goals there, but a lot of those came in the Sao Paulo Championships against some like fucking farmers from Brazil. But like it seems like so at the moment he's on 35 goals. It seems like he's been on like between 32 and 35 goals for about 6 months of the season. So like even now he's injured. Like before the big games, I have like 2 or 3 players out injured. So I'm hoping if he comes back into the team, like current ability and potential ability, 4.5 stars, it just looks like so attractive on the team sheet when you got someone with like that good. But yeah, what's annoying me though. I said I've got that bug about the history where like
Yeah.
it's saying like some of my youth players have like played for like Vauxhall Motors in like the Vanarama North or whatever, and they're like, what? Like they're
You're
not,
Brazilians.
yeah, my Brazilians like this
Yeah,
like
mad.
where is it? Let me find. I can't find one now, but there's like some proper mad ones here. Like this guy maybe. Yeah, this guy Giovanni, Brazilian, 26 years of age. Apparently spent one season on loan at Morecambe. No, he didn't. No, did he?
How'd
Like,
he get on?
mate, he got 2 goals in 40 games. To be fair to him. But
Is
what?
he a
Why is that a
striker?
thing? What is that bug? It's winding me up bad. Is it a
That
skin
is.
thing or just an overall game thing?
That's an overall game thing I'd have thought.
Mate, if someone knows this, please tweet me because
There you
it's
go.
jarring. But I'm like 20. What is it now? 12. No, yeah, 12 seasons into the game. So
You always have a bit of bad luck, don't you? On your
what did I have before?
your penalties. You have,
Oh,
yeah, you
South
have.
Africa one last year. Fuck, remember that?
Yeah,
Oh my
just
god.
killed it dead, didn't it?
I won it in South Africa in the end, but like it just took so long. I just didn't have time to do anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
brutal. That
yeah.
is brutal.
I think there's a danger with these long term saves in it, but nah, I'm enjoying it still.
It,
It's good, man. It's still
it
getting the games
it
on.
is difficult when you put all your eggs into one basket, isn't it? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Was it Matt who asked last week? He says, "Is this going to be your only save?" I was like, "Yeah, probably." I think I'll be burnt
Yeah.
out after this. I won't even be able to like think of doing another save until the next FM. So
So, are you going to go on record now and say on the next podcast, which to be fair, we haven't
might only
actually.
be a few
I
days.
asked Mad for a date. He hasn't asked for a date. He hasn't told us one. So, are you gonna be winning
Yes.
a trophy?
Yeah, mate.
There you go.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Shall
I'm
we?
confident. This
Shall
is the
we?
most confident I've been.
Shall we have a little bet on that? Do you want to bet on that?
No, because I'll win.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I have to do the bet.
What's the bet then?
If you win a trophy
A
by the next
trophy.
time we record a podcast,
Do you mean it's got to be what the Libertadores? Because I'm
the
not a
Libertadores.
trophy. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going to say because I'm
No, the
21st in the league, for
Libertadores.
argument's sake.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So if you win the Libertadores, and what you in now semi-finals, you said
yeah. Semi-finals,
first
mate.
leg.
4-1 up on aggregate. Yeah,
Okay. If you win that by the time we do the next pod,
yeah.
you can send a tweet from my account. If
Oh
you
my
don't, I can send one from yours.
deal, deal.
It's got to be
PG.
clean,
Yeah, PG.
PG-ish. Yeah. All
Mm.
right, there you go.
All right.
Deal is on. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think you'll do it. I can't. I'm
Good.
just trying to give you a bit of encouragement. I tried to encourage Mad. We wanted a little bet about him winning the Champions League before me, and I just wanted to kind of see him do his save. To be fair, and unfortunately, he's bottled it, which is a shame. But I'm sure we'll hear all about his save next time he comes back. I mean, it might be that he's not here for a couple of weeks where he's away with the internet, so
Possibly.
we'll see. But I'm sure he's sat playing FM right now, and we'll get a massive update when he comes back. Talking about massive updates, David,
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a bit of FM.
Good.
Now, I did say I was going to be streaming this week, but because of the stuff that we mentioned earlier before the pod about me doing a lot of work on the house because we're getting ready for the extension and knocking garage down, I've not been in the mind frame to actually stream. I've just been playing it in the background. And I am at the end of January in my first season in the Sky Bet League One. And it's been a bit mental. When I say it's been a bit mental, it's been bloody difficult. We've had about 57 friendlies to start the season off, just trying to earn money because we are skint, like proper skin. Which is strange because we've not done anything to be skin. I'm spending my budgets, and this is what always annoys me. Like They give us our budgets. I spend in my budget, like, for example, at my current wage budget on the 29th of January is £43,000 a week I'm allowed to spend, right? I'm currently spending 37,000, right? But it's still saying that, like, it doesn't all add up. So why are you giving me such a budget if we're now going to go? Anyway, that's a different story. But what happened was, went through, did a lot of transfers, just bringing players in. One of the main ones was I sold a chap called Jack Roberts, who was a centre back that we picked up from Tottenham back in the day on a free transfer. He played 27 games for me in League Two. I sold him to Rotherham for 180k, and then I loaned him back for a season with zero wages. So that's good
Yes.
money, good for me, and that's perfect for me. I bought the chap in from Plymouth, from Portsmouth, who scored a load of goals for me last year. Casey Culler Gustin, I think his name is. I've had him on loan for 2 seasons. He scored 20 goals each season. We managed to get him in on a free transfer. I don't think he's going to light things up, but I think we'll be able to sell him at the end of the year, which is always very, very good. I managed to loan in a chap called Barry Wright, which makes it
Barry
very
White.
difficult. I always want to say Barry White, who at the moment, and I don't really want to give you too much information, but he's nearly top goal scorer. So he's doing very, very well. He's from Ipswich. He's only 19 years of age, but he's got the coolest hair I've seen in a long time. It's called the ski slope hairstyle, I think. It's kind of like up and then it kind of comes down like this. It's really cool. Don't know how he headers with it. Probably the reason why he's got 5 heading. It's the face packs, they're quality. I also brought in a chap called Matteo Dashin from I brought him in from Crystal Palace. He played half a season for me, 19 games, and then I've sold him to Albania for £250,000. The fans rioted. He played 19 games, 7 starts, 12 off the bench. Because I was going to play a free at the back system, and I mentioned this a while in the last stream pod that I was going to play a free at the back system. In preseason, I just couldn't get it running, couldn't get it working, and he was going to be my attack mid. So after the preseason, I adopted back into my 4-2-2 system with the 2 wide wingers and my 2 DMs. So he had nowhere to go. So he was just coming on as a winger every now and then. So for him to play so little games and then we get £250,000 from him is fantastic. But we brought some really cool guys. I've got a Scottish guy called Juan Martinez. Like, I'm not sure that's that much of a Scottish name, but he is half Spanish by the looks of things. But he's a really cool striker. Again, he's come in, he's scored some goals, to be fair. He's done quite well in the league as well. But he's come in and he's valued at 1.2 million straight away. So he's going to be another guy that we're just going to sell. And then that's pretty much we've got more in, but everyone else is kind of like pretty shit, I'll be honest. But it's just enough to kind of get us by. We've got a lot of players that are still here from last year. One thing I didn't know about the league is you can only spend £35,000 a week on wages. Did you know that, Dave? In League One,
What?
34 and a half. Yeah, so
Cap?
League One FFP regulations require a club to keep their player wage expenditure below £34,500 a week. We currently spend £30,000. I'm assuming that's just because it doesn't include. Oh, there you go. So the wages for the following players are excluded: under 21 homegrown players and players with contract lengths for 3 year more. Sorry, 3 years or more if the club were relegated from the Championship the season before. So we're okay because we've got a lot of homegrown players under 21s, but that's pretty tough. You know, it's pretty nuts as well. Seeing is at this current moment in time, the transfer window is due to shut, so this might change in the next week or so. Before I go on to the team details, we currently are bottom of the league on salary spent. We spend £1.5 million a year on salary. So don't forget, I've just said that I am only £3,000 a week below that threshold, right? So that's not a huge amount. So that's like 150 grand off. So it's really close to the threshold a year. Well, Swansea and Ipswich are currently spending £17 million a year on salary because they obviously got relegated. Preston 11, Salford 9, Bolton 9, MK Dons 8 million, and I'm spending 1.5. So I'm really up against it. So we started the season with a 3-3 draw against Charlton, who are pipped to be very good. They got Jonathan Woodgate as their manager, who, in my little save, he was Swindon Town manager previously when we've played them in friendlies and stuff. So it was quite a nice little bit of narrative there. And then we lost to your favourite team in the world, West Brom, in the EFL Cup first round. But after the first 15 games in the league, we hadn't been beaten. We hadn't won many. I think we only picked up 5 wins, but we then picked up like 8 draws, 9 draws. And we're drawing against teams like Barnsley, who Barnsley are very good. They're top of the league at the moment, so they're awesome. They've got Herbie Kane in. You remember Herbie
Yeah,
Kane
yeah, yeah.
from was it Liverpool he used to play at? But yeah, he's pretty awesome in this level of football, and he plays for them. And yeah, we had some strange results. Like we absolutely battered Notts County, and we battered Bristol Rovers, but we just weren't winning a huge amount of games. But we were up there, we were up close. And then we played AFC Wimbledon, who were bottom of the table, and we lost to them. So our first loss of the season was to AFC Wimbledon. We beat Portsmouth on penalties in the FA Cup. First round, which was pretty nice, a replay. So we've maximised our finances on that one. We beat Ipswich in the league 2-1 away from home, which is a fantastic result. Well, I've just explained, like they are 10 times the amount of money I'm spending on
Yeah.
wages. So for that result is phenomenal. Again, we picked up points here and there, drawing, winning, not losing any more games, by the way, in the league. We then played Tranmere in the FA Cup second round. They're in League Two, like dead bottom of the League Two. We drew 1-1 at home to them. We went to their place and I won 8-1.
Flipping
Like
heck.
that was the Saturday to the Tuesday. I won 8-1 away from home. That Juan Jesus Martinez got a hat trick, and it was a good hat trick, 30-minute hat trick, and I took him off. we're 4-0 up, I think. We scored in like the first minute, and then we scored 4-0 up, and I took him off. The minute I took him off, they scored, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I've bottled this. But thankfully, no, we kept up. And then we had a bit of a funny month in December. We lost to MK Dons. We lost to Bristol Rovers. Now, I mentioned that because AFC Wimbledon, MK Dons, and Bristol Rovers are currently the bottom 3. So, like, we've lost 4 games in total this season. I've played 32 already. And the other one is Blackpool that we've lost to. Guess where Blackpool are, Dave? They're the
Go on.
4th team in the bottom of the table. So, I don't get we're losing to these teams that are like dead last, dead bottom. And we're doing all right against everyone else. I say all right. We've just lost to Blackpool. We beat Wrexham 1-0, and then we've drawn to Notts County, drawn to Crewe, drawn to Sheffield Wednesday. And when I say we're drawing, like 92nd minute equaliser, we've had a player sent off against the Crewe game. It is really very much kind of backs against the wall. We got drawn against Tottenham at home in the FA Cup 4th round. Tottenham are our affiliate as well. It took an 84th minute penalty for them to beat us 2-1, which is a shame because I'd love to have gone to their place just because of the finances involved with that. But like I said, we should be good, to be fair. So like I said, end of January, 32 games done, a 46-game season. Barry White, I keep wanting to say Barry White. Barry Wright is currently got 17 goals in the league. He's 3rd in the top goal scoring charts. Juan Jesus Martinez has got 20. He's got 16, so he's 4th. So we're bagging goals, but we're conceding a shitload. But enough to have us 2nd place at this current moment in time. I say that Ipswich have got 5 games in hand on us, and they are 8 points behind us. I don't know how they've got 5 games in hand, but they've got 5 games in hand, which would then drop us potentially into that playoff spot. But we're further enough away from Carlisle, who are down in 7th. They're 12 points behind, level on games. So you'd like to think that we may potentially get a playoff spot here. We could potentially catch Barnsley, who are top. We are 8 points behind, and we've got a game in hand. But at the moment, I wanted to get 46 points, which was enough to stay up last year. And that is kind of where we're at. We're sat pretty comfortably, but in the league. But now, kind of, what it's like. I feel like we're there, and I'm not happy with if we just stay up now. I kind of feel like being top 2nd or 3rd. I want to be going up, so there's a lot of pressure now put in. But I'm just not sure whether we bring this save back to Twitch or because I want to be live this week. We should be live this week. And I'm really not sure whether I bring this one back or whether I start something new. That's kind of my big dilemma. I kind of started a little offline save, which I haven't really done much with, but it's an offline save of a real life database and a Manchester United save. So we'll see what happens. I'm just thinking with us being 8th as well, that could be quite an interesting save. No Europe next year and stuff. I think the new one comes out on Tuesday with the updated database, so that might be a thing next week on Twitch. And this just stays my offline save because I'll be honest, I'm just enjoying plowing through it. Like the amount of games I've played today is like this evening and yesterday, and watching the boxing. I watched the boxing and I didn't realize it was as late as it was. And I went to bed like 2:15 in the morning. I was playing FM. That's like old school FM sessions.
Proper
And I
session.
wasn't even in Discord with anyone. It was just me. And it was just like, this is mental. So I'm really loving the save. But at the moment, it's quite difficult being live. So I don't know. I don't know whether we just start something new or whether this one sticks. So we'll see. We'll talk about it on Twitter very soon. But I mentioned about drawing games, a lot of games. We've drawn the most games in the league. 16 wins, 12 draws, 4 losses. We've also lost the least amount, drawn the most. So I think I know where the problem is. But hey, more draws than IKEA, as you would say, David.
Exactly, mate. You just got to turn a couple of them draws, even if you. I don't know, I wonder if it's style of play. Turn a couple of those draws into wins.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the draws, I mean, they are pretty nuts. We've had a 3-3, 0-0, a 2-all. But like I said, some of these draws, I'm scoring lastminute.com or the opposition scoring lastminute.com, which are a bit heartbreaking. Or I'm getting players sent off.
Yeah.
I do find that we're getting players sent off quite a bit. But I need to break the free run, the free draws in a row. And I've got AFC Wimbledon next, who are bottom of the league. So guess what? We're probably going to lose that game. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much all I got was Swindon. Sorry, sister. And like I said, I'm not sure what happens with whether we go for a new save or not. I think it's been that long now that the siren save's been out of the spotlight that it might be worth kind of starting something new and just playing this one offline, and this just being like a save update I chuck here. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'm assuming, Dave, we've not got a quiz. I'm assuming we've not got like a Wonder Kid watch.
No, we need to bring that back, actually, though, don't we?
Yeah, I think we do. I think that's pretty much probably us done, Dave. Unless there's
Yeah, it
anything
was.
you want to add.
It's only a short one today, but you can tell Mad does a lot of the organisation. But no, I think to be fair, quite a busy week for all us. Mad's away now, but we play quite a bit of FM, so I'm
Yeah,
hoping. I mean,
like I
with the
said,
two of
a
us,
save update's always
yeah,
good.
it's never going to be an hour-long one, is it? So
No, I mean, look, if Mad's not here this week for next week's pod, we'll just get him to write something pretty cool, and we'll talk about that next week. But like I said, it is very late. We've got to get this edited. Well, I said we've. Dave's got to get this edited, uploaded, and I'll sit and talk to him whilst he does that. So I think that probably brings episode 353 to a close. You can find the links for both of us in the podcast description or by visiting 5starpotential.com, where you can find all of our latest Football Manager content. 5-Star Potential is available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and most of our popular podcast apps and platforms, with a new podcast released every single week. Thank you all for listening. There'll be more from us next week. Say goodbye, David.
goodbye, David.
David!